planet. Now I'm all for you like Janet. Can this be a real thing? Can I?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Shit Show. Merry Christmas edition. So I just want to say hi to everybody. Let's see who's here. Oh, hello, Six Nation 31 Kings. Thank you for stopping in. And Soy Base Jeremy, thank you. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for stopping by. And I think Bruce will be here in just a little bit. I talked to him earlier, and he said he was on his home from work, so he'll be here. But hi, guys. Welcome, Ruben and Orchat. How are you guys doing?
I am okay. It's been a long week. I basically have just been dealing with a lot of minor issues in my condition and been very weak. So I've been, if I fall asleep, just I'll let myself out. But I've been doing a lot of spring cleaning, selling everything. I basically am now ready to start the new year. So Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thank Lucky, you. Can't you tell?
Excuse me. Falling asleep.
So how is everybody else in the chat? Hope everybody else is having a wonderful weekend starting and looking forward to a wonderful Monday, Christmas Day. I hope spending it with family and friends. That would be great.
Yeah.
But today I kind of wanted to not be so negative since it is the weekend before.
We're all gonna die.
So I was thinking about us talking about, maybe a few things that we saw that was kind of inspirational or inspired us, and have a few laughs and try to enjoy ourselves tonight a little bit and see how it goes. So who wants to go first? Who wants to start off? Do you, Ruben? You want to talk? You have anything you want to talk about?
Well, I'll just basically very briefly. I'm really grateful for everybody in the fellowship, everybody that I've and then basically I will want to thank someone very special to me. Janet, I want to thank you for this year because basically we started off on doing this show this year, and it's been something that I look forward to every Friday. I used to do when Matt did his show there for Cocktail Lounge, but then basically put on hold because again he had a girlfriend. He'd rather be with a girlfriend on Friday night than in a show. Yeah, I understand that completely. So being here has been really good. So consistently being here on Fridays, if I couldn't make it, I was sick or not, but still, despite the fact that I'm homeless, despite the fact that I'm very sick, I have lost a large amount of weight this year. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that the pain that I have now is just the illness and all that my tumors are shrinking. And, I've now I've sold everything. I have nothing left and I am ready to find a place to live. And we were talking about the fact of the states I want to look for to start over with. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And despite everything that's going on in the world, I already know what's going to happen, or I already know everything that I've foreseen is happening. So I'm going to continue to believe where I am and move this. So I look forward to 2024 and continue to lose the weight to hit 199, to be Mr. 199. That's my moniker now. Or it's because again, to be 199, I haven't been that way since the 5th grade. I mean, I was 10 years old. I weighed 200 pounds. So to be back to go to 199 is an incredible achievement I'm going to try and reach, but I will do it. And that's the whole thing. So I look forward to this time here right now with you all. And then in 2024 to continue to do this and to continue to have the shit show and have some fun about it. So that's my goal. And that's my thank you for having me in life. And Orange Hat, thank you. And when Bruce gets here, I'll thank him because, again, his point of perspective is, something to behold. So that's what
Thank you.
that's all I
Yeah,
say.
right.
I think it's
I just
great. I
like
love it. When I didn't even know about thinking about even going live, if it hadn't been for Bruce, everybody, I think most people know the story already, is that Bruce's girlfriend at the time saw a couple of my TikToks because I was just started making my TikToks and stuff. And she told Bruce that I was funny and that I need to be on he needed to invite me to a show and interview me or whatever. So after the interview, we started talking and he asked me if I would like to do movie reviews with him, something he'd never done or anything on his channel because he knew I'd like to cosplay and stuff. And I said, hey, I would love it. I could dress up theme. It would be fun. Let's try it. Let's see what's happen, right? So, and it's been great. I've loved it. And I've gotten, braver and braver about trying to do stuff for myself. And then he taught me how to be able to do all this stuff to go live by myself because I tried and I cried and made a fool of myself online. But
I remember the first time you went live, and then I popped into the chat and I said, hey, and you said, and then you want to know, can you hear me? And I go, yeah, I can hear you. We tested it. Remember that?
Yeah, I was like freaking out because I was like, I can't get this nothing to work. But the thing is, I finally figured out how to do it. And then it was about this time last year when Sandy had was early in the year. It was after my mom had passed, and it was near her birthday or whatever, and Mother's Day, because my mom's birthday is near Mother's Day this year. And I called Sandy and I said, what are you doing? And she has nothing. And I said, well, I'm depressed. So she said she was too. And I said, I want to go live. And I said, we can just talk and whatever. And I said, I'm just going to call it the shit show. Because we were both depressed.
Where's Sandy?
Well, I think she's hanging with her family right now for Christmas now, her daughter and stuff.
Great.
But so we went live, and then after that, I was like, "This is great! I think I could do this every week." So that's how I started doing it, and it's just evolving. Trying to figure things out because I'm not monetized or anything, so I'm just trying to enjoy every minute that I have to learn and try to figure out how to do things. So. But go ahead, Orange Hat, your turn, and then I'll bring up something about what we can talk about.
Well, we just had Santa Claus driving through town on the fireman's truck for the kids show. Mm-hmm. That was a nice little Christmas moment. I have a couple of Christmas jokes that will work very well. So I guess I'll start with those. The first one being these three guys went to a Christmas party. And when they were driving home, they slid off the road into a ditch and unfortunately died. Well, at Heaven's Gate, the angel says, if singing in the spirit of Christmas, if you can bring something out that's Christmas themed, we will let you in. Okay. Well, one guy brings out a mistletoe, so he's let in. Another guy brings out a piece of tinsel, so he's let in. And another guy brings out a pair of women's panties. And the angel's looking at him skeptically. Oh, these are carols.
Carols?
So,
I like it. That's a good joke.
Yep.
I had no idea where you were going.
Oh, trust me. A lot of people didn't at first. So the next one, this one's a little bit longer. It's a lead up. This guy wins, or this bow hunter wins a spectacular or a tournament and gets an all expense paid world trip to different hunting cultures and whatnot. And while in Africa, he finds this beautifully carved ornate bow. And he wants to buy this bow. And the shopkeeper's like, beware, sir. This bow's success is reflected on who you are inside. Well, this guy doesn't believe in all the mystical mumbo jumbo. So he's like, okay, I understand. So I'll take it. And so he buys the bow, and the bow is usable. So he wants to try it out at home. Well, this guy's quite a bit egotistical after he won that tournament. So when bow season came around, he's out there, he's hunting, doesn't find anything. First day. Second day goes by, week eventually goes by, nothing. And after the entire bow season ends, well, he hasn't found anything. So he's now pissed off that Christmas dinner is coming up and he couldn't make his famous venison roast. And so he's sitting at the table just pouty while everybody else is getting the Christmas dinner ready. And he looks outside and he sees a deer. He runs to his closet. He grabs his bow and an arrow. He kicks down his front door from the inside, mind you. He draws back, shoots the deer, and it falls over. And his wife comes out, honey, what the heck are you doing? I went the entire season without seeing a single deer. I was not missing this opportunity. Well, congratulations, honey. You murdered a lawn ornament. So, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
There it is.
That was pretty cool.
Or if you tell it in a hunter's
It's a
community,
deer.
they'll laugh. It's like, you just murdered a lawn ornament.
That is an adorable one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the first things I thought we could talk about is I wanted to bring up, like one stupid thing going on, like we normally talk about stupid shit. And then I was going to talk about something good, but I'm going to talk about the good thing first. So give me a second. I gotta remember how to do this again. Share my screen. Is that how I do it? Yeah.
Yep.
And then I can do this. Screen. Okay. Yep. So this is what I want to show. It's a wonderful story. It happened on the 16th of December. So I think it was Tennessee. This 4-month-old baby was sucked up into a tornado.
Oh my!
And barely got a scratch on it. The mother and the mother and her 1-year-old was also in the trailer house they lived in, and her infant son was in his name is Lord, and he was in his little bassinet. And the tornado hit, the roof started to come off, and then she saw the bassinet getting sucked up with the roof, and the baby was gone. And she ran out at that second and jumped over and landed on top of her 1-year-old to hold him down so that he wouldn't get sucked up in the tornado too. So her little 4-month-old was sucked up in the bassinet. And then I'm going to show you the that's what happened. But let me show you the news article, the news thing real quick. So hold on. It's turned up. So
hit the replay button down next to the volume button.
Can you hear it?
No, because it hasn't started yet.
Oh, darn it.
You got to click that circle with the arrow on it.
Because I'm looking at I don't know what.
Lower left.
This right here?
Yeah.
You see my mouse? It says full screen.
Oh, no, not that. The lower left-hand side of it. Next to the volume indicator
right
on
here?
The screen. Yeah, that. I guess.
Let's see. This one? Play on TV? No, never mind. Let me close this.
On the opposite side.
Okay. Is this the screen?
Okay, I can see. Yes, that's the screen I could see.
Okay. So let me just
right next to the speaking.
Okay, here we go.
There you go. Yeah.
In Clarksville, a 22-year-old mom is now searching for somewhere to live with her 2 young boys.
The tornado demolished their trailer on Saturday, and she tells our Lydia Fielder her baby was spun up inside of it and survived.
This is what's left of the room where Sydney Moore was laying on top of her 1-year-old, shielding him from the tornado as her 4-month-old baby got sucked away and her mobile home demolished.
Wait until you see the
towering over the rubble of her mobile home and shadowing her crushed car, Sydney's kid's playpen is wrapped around a tree.
See the
a
playpen up
jarring
there?
reminder of how easily the
Mhm.
tornado tossed their 4-month-old baby to the wind.
The roof came off first. The tip of the tornado came down and picked up the bassinet with my baby Lord in it. And he was the first thing to go up.
In his attempt to keep the bassinet inside, her boyfriend and father of her children was sucked up with it. At the same time, in the back bedroom, Sydney threw her body on top of their 1-year-old son, shielding him.
Literally, the moment I jumped on him, the walls collapsed. I was being really crushed. Like, I couldn't breathe.
The couple frantically searched through the rubble in the pouring rain for the infant.
I thought he was dead. I was pretty sure he was dead and we weren't going to be able to find him.
Then, a miracle. They found baby Lord alive with just a cut on his face.
And it looked like a little tree cradle. He was just laying there.
The entire family survived. Now, as she walks back down to where her home used to be, Sydney's recalling how she thought this would never happen to her family.
Everything could be taken like that. You better listen to them warnings. You better stay on top of the news.
The kids that she risked her life to save, sleeping peacefully tonight.
Like, those kids are what saved me. Like, they saved me from everything. And I don't know what I would have done without them.
There's a link to donate to the family's GoFundMe on our website, WSMV4.com. In Clarksville, I'm Lydia Fielder, WSMV.
What's her last name again?
I don't know. Lydia Ford. Lydia
Lord Ford.
Lord Ford is his name.
Oh my God.
That
Lord
was the
Ford.
name. But
Yeah.
the thing is, that doesn't matter. They can make fun of his name. But the thing is that
I joke.
baby, it was a miracle. That baby
Oh yeah.
was just laid down on the ground. When you saw that bassinet and everything else, how did that baby just get a tiny scratch on his face? That to me proves that there is something bigger
Yeah,
than
it proves
us
it's coincidence.
out there
Yeah.
that protects certain things. When, maybe it's a loved one that's already passed on. I don't know. I can't explain it, but I just believe in it. And to me, this made me feel so good when I read this story. So I had to do that. But now I'm going to show you my shit show story. So hold on. I got to show you this because I only watched part of it, but I think it's exactly what we're talking about what can happen at any moment in your neighborhood around you. So here we go. Okay. I think I can share it this time. Okay. I got it. Let's see. Is it turned up? Yeah, the volume's up. Okay. Can you see this?
Yeah, make it bigger.
Well,
of course.
I'll make it bigger. Here we
roll
go.
on
Ready?
video.
Can I see what it is?
That's a bank by the looks of it.
Let's see the guys. Look, we're gonna zoom in. It's a street brawl.
Oh my gosh, man.
Look at them, man. They're going to town. He's got a bat. They got 2 sticks and it's a brawl. And it's across the street. There's a guy, whoever's filming it. Now look at them all. It's a gang.
This is hilarious.
I know. Just saying.
What's the
It's
context? An accident?
terrible. I don't know. All I know
Well,
is
considering that vehicle's flipped.
Yeah, it's flipped over. You see up there's debris above them in the street. But the fact that there's another car right there damaged. So there was 3 vehicles, it looks like, that was involved.
What's Velma from Scooby-Doo doing there?
I don't know, but
I mean, that
oh my
hairstyle
God,
looks
look at all
very
these
much like
people.
Velma.
They're all
And,
okay, if you get in the middle, look at that other guy. He's like, get the hell out of here. He took a stick from the other guy. He said, get the hell out of there. He's trying to break up the fight between them all.
Oh my
But it's
God,
like, see,
man.
these are regular people stopping in traffic, trying to stop this brawl.
That's Christmas.
Oh
That's
my
not
God.
worth it.
What is wrong with people?
Where is this located when did this happen?
I'll have to look when we go back, but it's in New York somewhere. But the thing is that
Great.
people let little things, an accident, you're lucky you lived, okay? You should be happy you're alive, and now you're going to kill each other in the street when you all survived an accident, when you could have died.
There is a very funny story of something similar to this, but it had a much more peaceful resolution once drastic measures were taken. There was this town shall remain unnamed, where there was a fender bender and these guys get out and they start fighting and it's leading into a huge tussle. Well, they make their way with this fight into a gas station, and somebody did one of the smartest things ever, albeit it was also kind of crazy too. They took the gas pump out of their vehicle and just started hosing them for gas and they stopped for a second, and it's like, if you guys start fighting again, I'll light both your asses on fire.
I think I saw
and
that.
And they stopped, and it's like, get your asses out of here now.
Well, there's one guy, one video
hilarious.
I saw that the guy was putting gas in his car, and then the guys came to try to carjack him, and he just took out the gas and poured the gas on them.
The one I saw. Them too, and he was spraying inside their van with it.
Yeah,
is that the one with the doors open?
That's
lovely.
Man,
that was smart.
That's lovely.
I don't think I would have thought about doing something like that to protect myself, but that was like he was really fast.
Because that's the most important thing that you have to do when you who is it? I heard about like in any self-defense situation, you don't want to fight. You want to de-escalate. You want to basically put it into the fight as fast as possible. That's or get yourself out of the fight as fast as possible. And that's like Krav Maga, something very quick. And you have to do it dirty because you have to live. Because again, now these days, anything happens, you don't want anything escalated. You want to get it, end it, and leave. But yeah, it's just crazy this way. And again, it's this whole idea of escalating fights starts basically, I think, around Thanksgiving time frame. And Thanksgiving, because basically the whole don't talk politics at Thanksgiving. But then that next day, Black Friday, got people beating yourself up for a toaster. It's insane. Seasons beatings. It's crazy.
Wonderful thing about my family and politics and stuff. We have family that disagrees on politics. My dad and uncle were in my my aunt's apartment a few years back, and they were starting to get really loud. And if you get too loud in this apartment complex, you get yelled at by the management the next day. Due to noise complaints from up and downstairs neighbors, depending on what floor you're on. Well, we have upstairs neighbors, and they can get pretty complaining if you get too loud. And I told my dad and my uncle, both of you knock it off or get the hell out of the house or get the hell out of my apartment. And they're like, oh, shut up. It's like, no, you either leave or I'll call the cops and have them escort you out. And my dad took a hard look at me and he's like, you wouldn't dare do that. I'm like, you bet your ass I will. You taught me that. Because my father said, if it's in your house, it is your rules. If they don't apply by your rules, then they're not welcome in the house. And I told my dad, you're my father. I love you very much. But if you break the rules of my house, you are not welcome here. And he didn't like the fact that I used his own rules and his own lessons against him. But hey, they stopped arguing. That was the point.
Yeah,
that happened to me in not that situation, but there was always something that my father did, and he always would basically say, it's a 5-minute job, why do you take so long to do it? Like wash the dishes or do anything like that, it's a 5-minute job, get it done. Then like basically but then the inverse happened, but it didn't happen for me, because when I left for college in 1990, Chicago, I moved. Every single time my parents would call, it would be about, I would answer, what do you want? Not hello, because it'd be literally, I don't know how to do this. How do I turn on the TV? How do I do this? Because they got new stuff. My father still had a flip phone until 2012, and then I got him a Windows phone because it had a Windows computer they didn't even know how to use. And so then they didn't know how to use anything. And so then when my father had his heart attack, I cleaned the house up and moved in with him to take care of him for a year. And I got him a Blu-ray player, a new television, and all that stuff. And they were still like watching the TV they were still setting the channel to the local, not the HD, the local channel. So it was all distorted and shit like that. You know how those things were back in the day when people were still in transition. I said, Dad, it's not channel 10 anymore. That's like, you know how it was, from 2 to 13. That was it. It's channel 500 and whatever. And I'm like, what? So then I programmed the remote to do it. And I bought him like a Harmony remote and it had all the presets in. But if basically something happened, he dropped it or something he did something stupid, he would freak out. But it was just funny. And then the point being is that my brothers and sisters at the time were saying, "Why aren't you scolding him? Like, why don't you learn this stuff? It's so easy to do. You just do it." Because my father would always tell me it's easy to do this because I didn't like doing what he did. I'm not a guy in that regard. I don't do guy things. I do intelligent things, but I didn't. But I don't do guy things. I'm not a guy. I don't do guy stuff.
But you're a guy and you're
no, I'm a man. I'm not a guy. No, I don't watch football. I don't play board games. I don't drink. I don't hang out with guys. I don't do that stuff. But the point being here is, what happens is, I said, no, I'm going to be patient because I believe in patience. I believe doing things the right way. It's the whole adage of measure twice, cut once. I'm not going to rush into anything. So I take my time with everything. And that's goes back to what my father used to say, because I was, what are you doing? Making loves of the car? Why don't you just clean the car? Right. It's 5 minutes. Just get it done. So those are the things that you remember. But I remember that I'll do the opposite of what he said as opposed to anything else. So I take my time with everything. And that's how you do. You have to enjoy life. That's the whole aspect here. And that's what the holidays are about. Because when you go back and you can see it, when you go back to your family, like with the first time that you had left and then you went back to see them, you realize that they're still stuck in like as they see you as the teenager or a young adult only. You're not an adult anymore, and you're not to them. You're not an adult, but they are still arguing with the same things. They're just having the same arguments, the same discussions, and it's like you're stuck in the 80s or whatever.
They're still older than you, and they're always going to be older than you. So I don't see how they cannot see you as younger, as their kid. I mean, no matter how old you get, you're always going to be their kid. There's just no way around that. Right?
Yes, that's true. But they got dumber over the years.
I mean, even
they're already dumb anyway, so they were all
if you became president of the United States and your parents were still alive, they would still say, "Son, I can't believe you're doing this."
Well, that's true because that's what was my father. My father, that's what my father called me. My father, my, you know how it is. Like when Bill Cosby said, "Up until I was 10 years old, I thought my name was Jesus Christ."
Yeah, I know. I was talking about that. I thought it was hilarious.
But for me, it literally was son.
Because he'd say,
he called me son.
Christ, get out of the rain. Your parent yelling at you. Yeah. So, yeah.
If I was ever elected president, my father would be like, "How the heck did you manage that?"
I know. Jesus Christ, what is that? A bunch of dildos?
The thing is that, I have kids. And I don't know how I'm going to be with when I'm old and when I look back at them, whether I'm going to treat them like, like, "Sonny, get over here," or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so it's like, you can't really. I just have a hard time. You can't get it. But I remember my mom always say, "Well, you're grown now, and you need to do this, and this is your responsibility," that type of thing. So my mom really never did. Well, she did for a while, and sometimes she would say, "Give me a hug," or, "I just want to just sit with you for a while," because you're so grown up now, things like that. So, I guess my mom tried to look at us as adults. But when you have 5 kids, all you want to do is get rid of them. You know what I mean? You're sick of them. Your house is full. You want your home back. I don't know.
Low Spec Linux Laptop said it best, basically. "But Dad, I'm Jesus Christ. I got." That's when Bill Cosby was funny.
Yeah, he was. Welcome, Bruce. It's nice to have you here. We were all talking about something good. Something good for Christmas and the holidays and stuff, something good that went on in the world that we knew about. And then I brought up something stupid because there's always going to be some dumb shit, right? And I showed a video of this brawl that broke out in New York City in a neighborhood street. It would look like
New York City.
In New York. It was a 3-car accident, and I guess the one guy was just so mad that he just pulled up. He picked up a piece of wood off the ground and started beating the other guy. And next thing you know, it's a brawl. It was like 5 or 6 people all beating each other up in the street. It was pretty funny, but stupid, because of a car accident that they lived. They all survived, but then they're going to kill each other in the street because of anger issues. So, but how are you doing, Bruce? Are you there?
He's typing.
Oh, he is?
Why does it look like
looks like a bunch of dildos?
Shitty snakes wrap themselves up in a ball.
It's like a Tomb Raider or a Leviathan or something like that, right?
Oh, they got heads.
Oh, okay. Now that's creepy cool looking.
That is really scary. What is it?
It's the Mind Flayer.
Oh, there you go.
Mind Slayer?
Mind Flayer.
Flayer?
From Stranger Things and D&D and shit, yeah.
Oh,
they call
yeah.
this a Chaos Hydra. And I'm sorry if I was...
Chaos Hydra?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty creepy. At first, when I was looking down at it, it kind of looked like it's a bunch of earthworms coming up out of the ground.
You thought it was earthworms. Everybody else said Bruce has got a bunch of dicks he's going to fuck us with.
Oh, really? I didn't see it with dicks at all.
What do you see?
Tentacle, huh? Into that tentacle behavior, are you?
Tentacle porn.
But listen, I really appreciate you stop getting my private affairs there, Orange Hat.
Oh, my God, you guys.
Missed you guys. I was at the doctor. They gave me some new meds. I'm going to be on meds for the next couple of weeks. Trying to get my... I got an infection of cellulitis. We're going to see how severe it is. If I can knock it down in 2 weeks and it doesn't come back for years, I win. And if it comes back within like 3 months, I lose because that means hospital time.
For what?
No. So you better put your foot's up, right?
It's at my hip level right now. I will put it up later.
It is up. It's up off the ground.
It's off the ground. It's at my hip level right now.
Okay. That's good.
I will put it above my heart later after we're done.
Okay, but just keep it propped up. That's what I do. I've been doing it with my foot, and it's getting better. So
what happened to your feet?
And I went to physical therapy too today. Man, and my foot sore.
What happened to your feet, Janet?
Remember, I told you I got plantar fasciitis.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I've been wearing high heels. So like right now, I'm wearing.
I'm sorry, but plantar fasciitis sounds like the Planters peanut is becoming a fascist.
I know, right?
I got
Mr. Peanut comes out.
high heel tennis on.
Wait, do that again.
No, that's all right. But the thing is, I wear these all the time because it really helps with the pain because I'm walking on the ball of my foot and not my heel. So
yeah, you have to walk in the
I'm
ball.
gonna get yelled at so much on Twitter later.
For what?
Why? Happened.
Somebody put up a YouTuber that we all know. She's kind of a big name.
Yeah.
Dressed up as a Mrs. Santa. And it's very clear that a filter is up there. And one of my friends said she's looking very hot. And I just was honest. All I said was filters will do that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, filters do wonders is what I said. But it's like, hey, man, I get it. Hey, a lot of people like them if they're hot. Me, I prefer natural beauty. If you're freaking so afraid to show your natural face, then what does that say about you, honestly? It says, well, you're either very shy or you have a confidence problem. Me?
No, not Mandy. No, it's the other one, California Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Girl is in her name.
Yes.
And Star Wars is her name.
We're not dropping names. We're not dropping names.
The thought.
Yeah, we don't need
thought.
Yeah. But yeah, getting back to or having other stories and whatnot. There was this time when I was younger and my nephew who was younger. This was step nephew. He's actually a step nephew. He's in his 30s now. Dear God, he's like 30-ish, 31-ish. But back when he was young, we managed to get Santa Claus on tape, and it was so cool. Santa Claus was putting the presents under a tree, and then he goes like this and points straight at the camera that was recording him, and the camera fits out, and then it comes back on, and he walks off and says ho ho ho, and oh my God, it was just so funny. I remember stuff like that. And 3 years after that, or actually I think it was before that, my father, who is a huge Star Trek fan, he got the shuttlecraft from the original Star Trek, and if you push it, it has Spock saying shuttlecraft to Enterprise, Spock here, happy holidays. Or happy holidays.
Wow.
It was
you
so
still have
cool.
it?
I think my dad still does.
Wow.
And we also had a Santa suit. We also have a Santa suit that I used to help spread cheer and whatnot. And I got a picture. I can't show it. I could show it when we're all off stream.
When we're all offline? If we're offline, you can't see it then.
But I can't because privacy reasons. My middle brother recently had a little baby boy. Well, his girlfriend had the baby boy. So I'm an uncle.
He's a new dad. He's a new daddy.
Yep. He's a brand new daddy. This is his very first child.
Oh, daddy.
And for those in the chat will realize Janet's ovaries are in a state of explosion.
I just love babies. They smell good too, and they're soft and squishy. Yeah, we just watched a baby that got sucked up in a tornado and lived, and you could see the cradle and the bassinet wrapped around a tree.
Yep. And so my cousin, who is now 14, technically he's the same generation as me, bloodline wise. Because my aunt is his mother. So he's technically the same generation as me, technically, but he's also a later generation than me because age-wise. He's only 14 where I'm 30, or I'm going on 39. And he wore my Santa suit, which had my brother had given it over to my aunt and uncle, and he used it to dress up as Santa so my little nephew, little Bennett, could take a picture with Santa Claus. And it's like, I'm so happy that torch has been passed, It is such a great thing to have the torch passed from one generation to the next, so to speak. And it really is good because when it came to me being, or my cousin getting younger, or when he was younger, I would always get him the Hesh trucks. You guys know what the Hesh trucks are?
What is it?
So
it's a new, or Hess is they're a gas station, and I guess it's only in New York, I guess. But they would always, they've been doing them for years and years. Hesh trucks, toy cars, toys. Or it's different each year, and I always would do it until a few years back. We were talking about this before we went online. I had a little trouble back in 2017, so I couldn't get him one. And it's like, after that, I was really struggling financially, so I couldn't get him one. But he was very understanding. The kid was so smart. I mean, this is a kid, literally, when he was all of 6 years old or 7 years old, they gave him a aptitude test, and he flunked it on purpose. And so his mom asks him, "Why did you flunk this test?" He looks her dead in the eye. "I didn't want them to know how smart I am."
Well, because he doesn't want to be sent to a different school or something.
No, that wasn't it at all. He just didn't want them to know how smart he was. So then they make him retake it. He freaking nearly aces the damn thing. It's like, holy crap.
Well, you got to remember too, a lot of smart kids, they just want to fit in. So they sometimes hide that they're smart because they're afraid the other kids will
I never wanted to
be mean to them, you know.
I purposely disrupted everything.
I've seen stuff like that happen to kids.
I mean,
especially if the kid gets picked.
Yeah, what is this whole peer pressure thing? I never understood that. Jesus.
Well, what is
you don't want to.
What is that when they take the really smart kid and they put him up a grade?
Most of those kids that they do that, they're fucking immature idiots.
They're skipped ahead.
So, you know, if you're really, really smart and you score really high, sometimes they push you up. And if another kid knows that they do that, maybe they don't want to be separated from their friends, or we don't know why. But
he's not genius level, but he does have, or he is pretty high IQ wise for his age. But another fun thing, I keep on seeing this, or I see different videos of it, where this guy does videos on YouTube where he pretends to be teacher and students, and he's also the students, and he's basically making all these videos by himself, but playing different parts.
Yeah.
And he's like,
this guy.
It's the second breakfast joke. Do you know that video?
I don't know. You have to tell me a little bit about it because I don't.
So he's like, he tells one kid to shut up, and this other kid's at the desk. He's eating a sandwich, and he's like, "What? Or there's no eating in the class?" And he's like, "Didn't you have breakfast before you got to school?" "Yeah, but I didn't have second breakfast." He's like, "Okay, so well, put it away, or since you think that you're so smart and whatnot, name 10 elements off the periodic table. Second breakfast." And the teacher starts to tell him, he's like, I have taught some very dumb students, but you, sir, stand alone. All right, if you're not going to believe it, me, he writes down SE, which is, I believe, selenium, CONDBREAKFAS or AS or TE. All of these are actual elements. I looked it up. And it's like second breakfast. And all the other students are like, he is the smartest person in the world. It's like his mind is greater than anything else. And they're all just
what did the teacher say at the end?
The teacher was just gobsmacked. He's like,
yeah, I would be.
What? Second breakfast. I mean, I wish I had that sort of knowledge when I was a kid in school at science class. And they're like, okay, name as many as you can. Second breakfast. What? Yeah. There you go. I mean, if I ever get reincarnated, send me back in time, man, with that knowledge, please.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff I think people would most likely do if they did have a, one or two people were able to get a hold of one of them. They would go back.
Yeah, once you know the periodic table, you can have the gateway to understand all types of chemistry.
Because have you guys watched? Bruce watched it. We watched it with Futurama when he did the time machine and he could only go forward.
Yep.
Remember? And they end up going around. They had to go all the way back around to the end of time and then start over again because they went too far or whatever. So they went by and they stop and they realize where they are, and there's like a bunch of Hitler people running around. So he goes over and goes back around again, all the way around, but he stops like a few years, 50 years earlier or something when Hitler was a baby. He gets a machine gun. He goes, "I'll be right back," and he leaves.
Oh my God.
Stuff like that. It was so funny. So, some people would think about things they could do to alter our own reality, but then most people are going to go back and do dumb shit. Like,
have you ever read
the girl
Dean
that got
Koontz's
away?
novel?
They're going to go back and try to figure out how they could have got that girl, or some
Dean
other.
Koontz's novel, man. There's I've read like 3 different novels from Dean Koontz. 2 of them were really good. One was called Twilight Eyes, where this carnival girl and this guy can actually see goblins where other people are just seeing people. And so they see goblins, and so they basically go on a murder and mayhem hunt for these things and find out that they're notoriously hard to kill unless you have high caliber. But then there's the other one called Lightning, which Germany, NA26I Germany, actually discovered a method of time travel. However, they could only go forward. And lightning, the reason why they call it the book Lightning is because lightning is a side effect of the travel, of the temporal disturbance. Well, this German soldier, which we can't say the word, he fell in love with a woman in the future. And she was a paraplegic, or she was paralyzed with only use of her arm. Other than that, her entire body was paralyzed because she was born, or because a drunk doctor that delivered her was drunk and he yanked her too hard.
Yeah.
When delivering her. So at the beginning of the book, you don't understand all this yet. She was a writer in the future, and so he stopped that doctor from going to deliver her. And then she is living her life normal. So that future had been changed. And he then sees, or he saves her life in different situations throughout her life. And he also realizes that there are some things that he did a little too early, like he saved her from, or he stopped a guy from doing something, but it wasn't enough to keep him behind bars. So the guy gets his revenge on her. So when he goes to the future again to visit her, he realizes she is in a mental institution and mentally broke because some horrible stuff happened to her. So he's like, okay, now I have to go stop that. And
interesting book.
Oh, this book is seriously interesting. I mean, Dean Koontz could have made a mint off of.
Well, didn't he write a whole bunch of books? I mean,
he's got a whole ton.
Oh yes, Dean Koontz wrote a lot of books.
Is he still going? Is he still working?
I don't know.
He still writes. I hope he does.
I believe I want to make sure I still have.
Hasn't Dean Koontz had some of his books made into movies?
Yes,
Watchers was made into movies,
couple of them.
which was the worst film I watched in 1992.
Okay, well, what else? Something good. Did he write anything good that was made into a movie?
I mean, he's got a lot of good books. Don't watch his movies. That's going to be what I wouldn't say I love Tom Clancy books, but here's Clear and Present Danger. No, I wouldn't do that to people. I'd say get a week of time available. Read this book.
All right, there's a quote from Dean Koontz, or one of Dean Koontz's novels, that I'm actually going to look for. I had it saved on my phone. Unfortunately, I know where I can find it. I know exactly where I can find it. So hold on one second.
This show is brought to you by Orange Hat and Looking for Books. Just kidding. No. And
let's see here.
The Multi-Headed Hydra.
I'm trying to find this other thing I found.
Oh my God, what's the thing? The Mind Flayer? It's called Mind Flayer, yes.
There was something that happened, I think it was yesterday, about the something about the banks or something in the United States, and that they were not taking any money or something. I don't know. I can't remember.
Some banks are collapsing, yes. And then when it comes to cryptocurrency, there's a possibility of an ETF coming soon.
Well, somebody was saying they thought it was something to do with the government making some changes because they're getting ready to, at the beginning of the year, like the 4th, we're going to be backed by gold standard again or something like that. Have you guys heard
they wanted it because basically all the people who know the writings on the wall regarding the financial system and that the big, one powers that be are changing it. People need to get ready, but don't fall for what they're doing. That's the whole thing. It's going to be, they're going to try to do a 1920s roaring 20s aspect again. And it's going to crash, eventually. So
I've heard that 3 times in the past 2 weeks so far, where they're trying to do stimulation to the market, and it's emulating the 1920s very, very closely. And it's like, this is just
I know, but is it our government that's trying to do it, or is it a totally different group that's trying to do it?
Governments and banks and corporations all coming together to do it. They want, because again, they want to stimulate the economy this way, and they're going to try to introduce new things. Because BlackRock, other entities, Jamie Dimon and Eugene, you're going to start doing these things. So just be very cautious. Don't get swept up in this whole thing. Don't just stay the course like I'm doing.
I'm not trying to, I'm not going to go out and buy anything or, no,
if you do, you want to invest in good things, more chickens, more vegetables,
more ammunition, Janet,
more ammo.
I found the quote.
Oh, more ammo. Yeah. I'm always trying to do that.
What's the quote?
This is from one of Dean Koontz' novels. It's this quote literally saved my life when I was at my lowest. Hope is a constant companion in this life. It is the one thing that neither cruel nature, God, nor other men can wrench from us. Health, wealth, parents, beloved brothers and sisters, children, friends, the past, the future, all can be stolen from us as easily as an unguarded purse. But our greatest treasure, hope, remains. It is a sturdy little motor within, purring, ticking, driving us on when reason would suggest surrender. It is both the most pathetic and noblest thing about us, the most absurd and the most admirable quality we possess. For as long as we have hope, we also have the capacity for love, for caring, for decency.
Yep. That's what my mom always told me.
That is from Dean Koontz. I believe that was in Twilight Eyes.
There you go. Well, yeah, that's the whole idea. That basically the thing is that you're seeing right now, everything that's out there right now is the distraction. It's not being centered on what's really going on. It's everything that's coming out. It's meant to distract, to stay the course, and take care of yourself. And this is what I'm saying. At this time, it's Christmas, and we want to basically think of the positive. What the family, yourself. Know that you're worthy of something. All of you are worthy of something, and worthy of more than you could ever imagine. You have to hold steadfast. If I listen to what other people were saying, the doctors, the people that were, I went to for advice regarding my health, I would have been dead by now. But no, I said I listened to what they had to say, and I rejected everything they said. So basically, listen to your heart and follow your gut all the time. It's very key. And people don't do that. So you have to basically, again, just know that you're worthy, you have gifts, use them, and trust your gut. And then, you have to cut ties with people who you find out who betray you or who are not true to you and don't have your best interest. Because again, you don't need anybody in your life. You just need to have your peace, yourself, and then celebrate the holidays with a good heart and keep that going. That's what we do in these times.
Yeah. See, I remember way back when that all those people were dying in the nursing home, and they were talking about when COVID first came out, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And I remember everybody talking about it, and most people were saying, "Oh, you don't worry about it. It's just like a flu. It's like a flu, but it only affects you if you're really, really young or if you're really, really old." So that's why all those people in the nursing home were dying. It's not the same thing as it was. Remember when during Obama administration there was it some disease that they brought over? People were bleeding.
N1H1, the bird flu.
It was really bad. People were bleeding to death, from every orifice in your body.
That was Ebola.
Okay, the Ebola people, right? That scared me really bad because there was like almost every person that gets Ebola dies from it, right?
Yes.
So that scared me, but nobody panicked over that. Nobody was like, "Oh my God, everybody's got to wear a mask, stay 6 feet away." All that, all the stuff that you're seeing over this, right? So this was it, and then people were dying, and people were like, and then all of a sudden I started hearing more and more about wearing masks, staying away from each other, all this type of stuff. And then that they were scrambling to try to get Trump to help them so that they could.
You remember Janet? Janet, you remember 1984? Do you remember 1984, Janet? I published my thoughts on this new blood-borne fluid, human fluid-borne disease, where it was primarily spreading through the gay community, and I was really concerned. And the gays should have masked up, because after fellatio, I put this in my report. After fellatio, the gays could be exhaling and sending aerosolized infected sperm out in the neighborhoods, and that could collapse whole metropolises within 10 to 12 years, because that disease moves so fast through the gay community. Every gay person had it that I ever tested.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, when it was COVID, okay, and then all of a sudden they're doing the fast track for the vaccine and stuff, and I was like, why are they going through all this stuff? They didn't really do anything like this for the Ebola. They didn't do all this stuff for AIDS. You know, it was like all of a sudden this one thing that H1N1 said at the beginning that nobody would die from unless you're old, right?
Average age was 77 for COVID.
So that right there is why I didn't get the jab. 23. You know, because I was like,
because it's stupid.
Yeah, I was like, something's not right. I just had a bad feeling about it. So that's when I asked my allergy doctor about it. He said, I don't recommend you get it. So he goes, we don't know what's in it. And that's when he started telling me stuff. And then the next time I went in, he showed me the pamphlet was empty. There was nothing. You have an allergy doctor? Nothing on there. So, you know, I was lucky. I had a good doctor that actually cared about whether he had patients or not, because he's an allergy doctor. He gives everybody the jab and everybody dies or whatever. He won't have any patients. So, I don't know. I'm thankful for that. That's one thing I'm thankful for this year, is the fact of that. And I've had a few things happen in my family with my loved ones and stuff. And, you know, some of it was really, really bad, but some of it's been good to know that someone's going to prison for a very long time for hurting someone in my family, and that they're in jail right now waiting to go to the prison. So good things do happen. And sometimes it just takes a while. It took, you know, quite a while to get him to finally go where he belonged, and hopefully won't hurt anyone else ever again. You know what I mean?
Oh, but, believe me, there was a case like that in my family too. Before I was born, the incident started before I was born. I had a cousin that I never knew because he died before I was born, and he was killed by a drunk driver. The guy was arrested, did his time, got out saying he was reformed, he'd never drink again. First place he goes is a bar. Mm-hmm. And he didn't hurt anybody else, thank God. But he has had 6 incidences since killing my cousin. And on the 6th time, my some other members of the family who were closer or more directly related to him went before the judge. And it's like, how many times is this man going to get off without doing serious jail time? If it wasn't for, or this man drank, killed our family member, and then after he got out, he just kept on doing it again. When is it going to be enough? And the judge was very moved by our family member's plea, and the guy is now, or I believe, from what I heard, he's doing 25 to life, because they're right. The man was getting off too damn often because he kept on getting away with it, I believe.
See, the thing is, that's common sense tells you that if a person can't stop doing something like drugs or alcohol or whatever, and they've already hurt people, then why are they able to keep putting themselves in the position to hurt another person, a totally innocent person that's just driving home from work or whatever, has no idea this person even exists, and that person goes and gets in their vehicle drunk, so they're all floppy, like that baby that lived, is because the baby wasn't tense and scared. The baby just got sucked up and dropped on the ground, and because it was all flexible and stuff, it was fine, right? But the thing is,
flexible babies.
I've seen it many times, is that you'll have, the drunk person driving the car and the baby's in the back seat, the kids, and they're all thrown and ejected from the vehicle, and the drunk's still sitting in the back in the seat, drunk, flopping around. But everybody else dies, stuff like that. And that's wrong. How many times does a person have to drink and drive or be under the influence and drive before somebody
Janet,
says something or does something about it?
Janet,
Yes.
I live in a weird place. We have a lot of people here that they don't understand right and wrong. I work in an environment where it's mainly blue collar, right?
Yeah.
And majority of my peers, if they have no driver's license, it's because they have this thing called a DUI on their record. They have multiple DUIs on their record, and they're okay while they're just kind of at work, sober for the most part, doing their thing with little wrenches and sometimes big tools and sometimes pressure. But these people in the trades really do like their alcohol, and they will have a lawyer pay a judge off to get them, a reduced sentence, or, hey, we're going to go for the plea deal because we have a better chance of doing something. And they'll get like 3 or 4 DUIs stacked up on the record. I work with a man. I work alongside a guy for the past 4 years that's got 4 of them. When I started there, he had 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then his email address, I can't even read the email address out there because it's considered doxing. But he's got an email that claims something that only a caseworker affiliated with him would understand what I'm referencing. But he uses that email to do his legal correspondence with. And I'm like, that's just the same thing as like, I snort crack and fuck hookers at AOL.com. He has it's an email address like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just got back into this, and the first words that I heard was crack and fuck hookers.
I know.
Welcome back, Orange Hat Reviews. This is a shit show. We're on brand.
Yeah, you are apparently shooting crack and fucking hookers. All right.
No, not me. I'm a sober one. I have a CDL. I need my CDL, so I can't do crack and hookers. I have to have controlled bursts of alcohol. I can't be doing this stuff at my job, unlike the unlicensed the guys with no driver's licenses, and they get to go to work, and if they're in a vehicle, they got to plug it in. They have to wait for the item to boot up, and then they get to blow in the vehicle and then click some things on the screen that say I'm not driving and I'm sober, which they don't have to pay for this. The rest of us have to pay for this and increase fees and shit. But the guy that I work with, he's got 4 DUIs. He's got 4 DUIs, and his email address might as well be I smoke crack and fuck hookers. And he's using that for all of his legal correspondence. It was okay for him to be using that with his lawyer, but now he's using that with the courts and the county.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't understand why, they're really sticking it to him as of the last 4 months. And I'm like, can you just get a new email address? Nobody will respect you if you keep using the I smoke crack and fuck hookers email address at AOL.com. He doesn't understand that. So I'm
Speaking of that,
is that the email address that he gave his boss?
No, that's the email address he just made after he quote unquote beat his 4th DUI. He's guilty as shit about it. He's on camera, but his email address gives an allusion to what was said directly verbatim at his fucking court hearing from his own mouth and he thinks he won because they're not putting him in prison. And I'm like, you dumb fuck, you lost when you started drinking, and you've been losing ever since.
Rubbing it in to everyone's face.
Yeah.
With an email.
Yeah.
Well, he's not very smart.
No, he's not. This is a kid that you could beat him to within an inch of his life, and then he'd look at you like, I guess we're done now, right? And then tomorrow he'll wander across her path and he'll do the same thing that got his ass beat the day before.
He's
and
a sociopath.
Like, man, this guy's picking on me.
Yeah, that person's got some real problems.
He does. And
That's a sociopath.
I work with him. I have a problem with that.
Definitely. Yeah, he does sound like he's a narcissist and probably a sociopath too.
Well, they mentioned it. Soy Boy's Jenny mentioned. God, I can't speak right now. My mouth's all messed up. Mentioned that the client list will be Epstein client list will be released if the 177 people will be named. I haven't seen the list yet. I have a. But there was some document I found. Yeah, but again, there were some names that remain redacted. But again, I have a theory per se. Is that every single person who's come out saying that if Trump is elected to leave the country, I think it's on the list too, or has some ties to there. It's the whole idea. It's not a question of them. He'll be in charge. It's
so
a question
Miley
of
Cyrus and Lady Gaga are probably on Epstein's client list.
Of course they are. Anybody who has something to say about Trump or about or rumors in the past, about the casting couch or things they've done. And that's the whole idea. Anybody who's in here's how demented it is. Like, who I think was it Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus, who's the other one? Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, all of these, like Selena Gomez, they were all Disney kids. And
they were all exploited.
And yes, exploited. So these are again that's the whole point. They basically take kids, and then they pervert them.
The saddest thing about all of that is all of those kids had parents
that went along with it. Just like
that's money that took cash to sell their children. They prostituted their kids out.
Yeah, they did.
Well, there's that one case that there was that one case I reported on that allegedly happened in 2015. It's one of my most viewed videos. This kid was part of one of the bands in Disney and whatnot. And, he was passed around. And this woman from the talent division of Disney at the time slept with him. And then when the mother started complaining about this, when she heard what was going on, she complained. And instead of them turning in that woman, instead of Disney doing the right thing and turning in a pedophile, they transferred her to a different division. So that was basically what cemented my anti-Disney stance a few years back, because Disney, every time there's a freaking bust down in Florida, a sex trafficking sting, there is a Disney employee involved.
Or plural, Disney
or many
employees.
Disney employees. Yeah,
but that's the whole idea. That's right there is what's very terrifying in a way. Yes, we've heard about the casting couch. We laugh about the girl, Midwestern girl goes there. She's, young ingenue, and then she gets involved and all that stuff, has an affair, whatever. Again, we live with that. We've heard about this we've heard of the stories, the Black Dahlia and what happened to her, the 30s and 40s, what they did in the 50s, especially what they did with all what they put through. But again, when they're complicit, like Leslie Headland was with Harvey Weinstein, or Giselle, or even if you go even deeper, like who is it, Meryl Streep, or any of these actresses.
Wasn't Rosanna Arquette one of them that said no to him though, and she left? She didn't get whatever it was that she was going to do.
Right, but then you have,
No.
but then you have they never spoke out. They went ahead and went along with it, and then you had, who was it, Rose McGowan, who came out with the Me Too, but I think it was against him, and it ballooned out of control. But a lot of people now are actually coming out, and you see the patterns of actresses and actors who are actually like leaving Hollywood, and going to, like, Idaho or Montana, or moving away from the craziness because they're not going to let their kids get involved.
Mhm.
But you have the Hollywood stands out there that will shit on, like, Chris Pratt, or other actors out there, Clint Eastwood, who take stands against those type of things. Yeah, again, yeah,
Well,
that could, yeah, Shirley
a while
Temple.
back,
Yeah.
I played a video, and it had it was an interview of Shirley Temple as an adult.
Oh.
Do you remember that when I
Oh,
played
yeah.
that? And
Yep.
she said that that I think it was not Fox, it was another group that had taken her, and she went into a room with one of the producers, and her mother went into another room with another producer, right?
Yeah.
And that she went in there, and the guy dropped his clothes on the floor, and that she didn't really know what to do. She said she'd never seen a naked man before. Nobody, not one person naked. So she said she just didn't know what to do. So she just started laughing, and she said she laughed really, really hard, and that he yelled at her and told her to get out. Okay. So she left, and that she went back down to the car, and her mom came back down there and got in the car. And she said, she told her mom, she said something really, so I'm going to tell you what happened. And then that's when she said, that her mom said the same thing basically happened to her, but her mom went farther, I guess,
Yeah.
than the daughter
But
did.
again, but
But
the good thing
Yeah.
here is,
It's
I
gone
think
for a
that
long
there's going to
time.
be a backlash, and it's going to be started with the kids who are being raised now with good parents, a 2-parent family, that is going to start to backlash against all this stuff. Because again, they're not going to fall for it anymore, because it's getting out of control, where you have media, you have entertainment, you have government, you have individuals who are just shilling craziness. The one thing I saw, it was Pat Better David was talking about it. It was the guy Kelsey from the football guy, Mr. Pfizer guy,
Yeah.
and Taylor Swift. The idea that, did you hear how much the guy got paid to take the Pfizer shot on and talk about it and tweet about it and say to get one? Did you hear how much Pfizer paid him
No.
to just,
No.
again? How much did Robert Downey Jr. for Avengers Endgame, or the movies that he was doing? He would get how many millions of dollars per film? For a film,
Like
how much did he
6
get?
to 8 million, or
$20
$6+
million.
million.
20 million. Okay. And guess how much this guy got from Pfizer for shilling? 20 million.
Guessing like
20 million. It came out.
Well, it also
for
came out
doing
recently that Taylor
and then,
Swift
and
just
of course, you know what he also got? He got Taylor Swift, because again, Taylor Swift's also part of the Pfizer aspect. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah,
It's
she's now a
all-
billionaire.
Yeah, but she's a billionaire because, again, it's about influence. Hey,
Yeah,
Taylor
but
Swift
I
is-
heard something a little different about that. It was with Taylor Swift, that she had lost the rights to her music for some contract or whatever. And she started making these deals to get the money, and so she needed, and to get her rights back to her songs.
She was getting upset because people were downloading her stuff off of Spotify
Mhm.
and
Oh
not
my
going out and
God.
buying her albums.
Yeah, but she
Which
was
X-Men actor?
mad about it. She was mad about it. So
what happened?
I don't know.
Soy-based Jeremy just put a link in the
So
chat.
do I click on it? Can I
Yeah, go
click
ahead.
on that, or do you have to
Yeah,
copy it?
go
or
ahead.
what?
I'm just-
If it's
we
Daily
can
Mail,
look.
you should be
It's
able
just
to.
that, but
Yeah.
I don't know how to open it.
Huh?
Hold on.
I'm gonna
You know what
try
I mean?
to.
How do you open it?
I'll
You would highlight it and open it?
Copy.
Oh, was that how you do it? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna put it down there,
Copy and paste.
or in chat? Or do you want me to do it?
I'll share it. And
So am I Red Hat then? Even
saving
though, well,
Yeah, I have a red
theoretically,
and green hat
theoretically, I do use Red Hat, and only low spec limited laptop would get that joke. But you know, Red Hat is a corporation that, well, IBM bought it out. It's Linux. It's Linux. You know, and then that's the other thing that I'm very, very disappointed as you're pulling that up. James O'Keefe had talked to Tucker and was at the thing that Jeremy and Chrissy were at in Arizona for the America First conference, that they're basically, Red Hat is now telling them about the 10 commandments of white, the new commandments, and they're just like changing about white people are racist and this and that, brown people are never racist, and all crazy stuff. It's crazy.
No.
Even though I am a proud user of Fedora, I love Fedora. And then again, I'm talking technology right now, because I love that aspect, of technology, and I'm using it right now. I rebuilt my system completely. That's what I do every December, every year. I do a refresh of all my computer stuff, and I'm rebuilding it. And this one's going to be a data science computer, and it's running everything now. It's a big powerhouse. So I have a fun. Did you pull it up? I was vamping. That was vamping.
Did you pull it up on chat?
Setting it up right now. I got it.
Okay.
As soon as I see it pop up,
getting ready to share it right now.
I'll put it up there. So I haven't seen it come up yet. But it's sad. But the thing is, I hope they
Yep, that's true. Enterprise Red Hat is really
gone.
I
don't care who they are, or what side they say they're on, or whatever. Any person that would do that or do things like that, what was it, Esmer Miller, supposedly drugging that girl?
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Stuff like that. So, those people should get punished for it, because if it was us, we would be punished, right? I mean, we would be in jail.
Yep.
So
share my screen. It's up.
Yeah, let's share it. You see it?
So apparently this actor, stupid advertising thing, allow ads.
Okay.
What?
It's fine.
Thing final. Hold on. I gotta freaking.
Yeah, Nickelodeon also the same thing, and that's a thing. Who is it like?
There.
Yeah.
That was just.
Sorry, it's got a refresh.
No, that's fine,
because
it's all right. I was just complaining about that a while ago, but we were talking. Is that you have to have all these. You have to sign up or do this, that, and the other just to look at stuff.
Yeah. All right. So exclusive ex-actor convicted of abusing Nickelodeon child star is still working with underage kids. This was back in 2018. Or no, this was back in 2015. So yeah, Brian Peck served 16 months in prison after admitting to 2 counts of abusing a Nickelodeon child star. He was charged with 8 counts of abuse abuse, including abuse by anesthesia and controlled substance, and is now featured in a controversial documentary on that kind of abuse. Since release from prison, he has been dialogue coach, worked on Disney series, and played teacher that claims to be friends with Charlie Sheen, who also got attacked recently in his own home. Banned from direct.
He got attacked.
Children, so he is able to work on children's series and on sets with underage actors. Tracked down by Charlie Sheen did. Tracked down by Daily Mail Online. Refused to comment on his 2004 conviction, but
a dirtbag.
Not profit.
This guy that you're talking about is the guy that attacked Charlie Sheen too. Wow, why is he not in jail?
No, I just heard that. Or no, I just heard that.
Oh,
not by this guy though.
I know of him, but I never saw any show he was in.
This guy, I have no idea.
Oh my God, the picture, it's a white guy. Just kidding.
But they're not.
He's super white.
Showing
That's it.
any
Racist
picture
right
too.
It's fine.
Yeah, it is.
That's all right.
But,
His name was up there.
yeah.
But
I can't,
still-
or it's
they
taking
still-
me
running,
forever, and
Bing?
I don't think it will. So I'm just gonna.
But the thing is, a person working for Disney, which is Nickelodeon, is part of Disney, can assault people and be convicted and still work for them.
Yep.
So that shows you what kind of company that is. They don't care about kids at all. They make a
never did.
living. I know, but they make a living using children's
The only thing they
toys
see.
and movies, and they all they do is abuse kids.
Children buy products.
Well, I said that this was going to happen a while ago, folks. When the whole cuties thing was happening, I did a video back in,
I remember.
in 2020. If cuties is allowed to be normalized, they were going to start basically trying to normalize pedophilia. And lo and behold, there is a video of the Justice League killed by the Suicide Squad game or whatever, where there is a 9-year-old Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn is hitting on her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
The same thing happened with the whole, like, let the same-sex couples marry. Says what, and then
Yeah,
the slippery slope we told everybody was, well, they want this and they'll have this, they'll have that. Now we're at basically you have to call people not pedophiles, but MAPs, minor attracted people.
Yeah.
I will never call them that. I'm going to call them exactly what they are. They're pedophiles.
Yeah, me too. That's why
I will never accept pedophilia as an acceptable practice. And the day our society says that it's okay, I'm sorry, I will go outlaw.
You remember it was an episode
all I
on
will
South
say.
Park, I think, and they had Mambla running around.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Remember the Man Boy Love Association or whatever? It's like,
yeah, it's crazy.
I don't understand it. But the thing is, in California, it's like a hotbed. That's all it is. So that movie that came out years ago, Escape from LA, had it right. Everything that's going on in that city that's walled up to made it into a prison and to sue everybody into LA. It's basically everything that guy was writing about in his book before they made it into a movie is all real. And that's what's scary about it. That's really scary.
The best place to put a map is in the water face down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah, that's splash. I was kidding.
Somebody put online.
Splashed around for a few minutes.
A friend of mine shared online. We need a Christmas movie that was both written and directed by Mel Gibson, and it's like, have you never heard of The Passion of the Christ?
They haven't. Which is so funny. The fact that I again, it's scary in a way. The movies that I loved growing up were like, it's the older films, like It's a Wonderful Life, Psycho, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, all the movies that we grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Now those movies are to kids now, like Bridesmaids, The Matrix. Those are classics to them, even though there's like those are just recent. But then you think about it, was like 20 years ago. When did the Matrix came out in 1999? I think.
Yep.
So it's like 24 years ago. So it's
amazing,
like, holy
isn't
shit.
it? It's just like our moms and dads used to tell us. It just goes like that.
Yeah, it goes like that.
And we don't even think about it until we're talking about something or looking at something that happened to us when we were kids, lawn darts, things like that they don't have now, and how old they are that we played with them. When we were
had
kids.
no idea that lawn darts were banned in some states.
Yeah, because people died
when I
from them.
moved here to Illinois, the biggest thing that I found very odd, well, there were many things, but one thing was that no one had guns in their house. which is really weird. We had guns all over the place. We had a gun rack. We had a gun cabinet. We had handguns all over the place. And there were no locks on guns. If your kid took a gun and shot something and shot himself, it's his fault. It's not a question of the parents. And then the other thing was like dogs, leash laws. Dogs ran free back in my day.
Puerto Rico would
and
like
then the
to
big
enter
one
the
was
chat.
Do what?
Puerto Rico would like to enter the chat. On a visit down to Puerto Rico many years ago, we were there in Roosevelt Roads area, and like there's a pack of 25 just like medium-sized, small-sized dogs, a couple Labradors in there, but like they were wild dogs and they were running all over Puerto Rico. Like they ran the place, and everybody would be like, they pet a couple of them or they give others food, but like dogs would run free all over the cities and countryside, and that's just how it is. And if you let your dog outside, your dog might get picked up by a pack and you'll never really get him back again. He won't be a domesticated little pup again. So that's just how it is in Puerto Rico.
Holy crap, Superman's dead in
that
the
way
comic.
here, when it comes to people's pets,
Again?
you know, people will get a pet for
Godzilla
Christmas
killed him.
and they get tired of it, and then they just dump it on the side of the road. So it happens here too, especially with animals. People just treating them like garbage.
Missing dogs in San Antonio. I think that there's a Bigfoot that lives here and occasionally comes out of the tree line and snacks on a couple dogs. Oh, you got a Belgian Malinois. You had a Belgian Malinois.
Yeah.
Wait, how accurate, Janet, is the fact that if somebody down where you live, they hit a deer and they say, well, free food, I'll take it home.
Okay.
I think
Up here, it's almost a daily occurrence.
I think it happens a lot here, honestly.
In Wisconsin, that happens a lot because it's colder for longer. And so you can hit a deer, throw it in the back of the truck, and he's not going to thaw out, or he's not going to get like super warm in the back of the truck riding in, you know, your Wisconsin Dells area or over in Ho Chunk. But if you're in San Antonio or in South Bend, Texas, like it'll heat up. And by the time you get them to the processor, you're going to lose about 60% of the meat.
Well, that's why you gotta gut it and, you know, skin it and get it all ready. That's why a lot of my friends carry ice chests and you know, all the knives and stuff they need in case they hit something on the way home. So they can take care of it.
So have you had rabbit or frog or quail? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I love quail and I love frog's legs. I used to have them all the time in New Orleans. I absolutely love frog's legs and snails.
Oh man, I miss
And
going down to
turtle
what is it? Was it Alabama? Southern Alabama? Lower Montgomery? Crawfish.
Mud bugs.
Mud bugs.
God.
Yeah, they're delicious. But on Metairie, on Veterans Boulevard, there's a restaurant. I loved it. It was called The Harbor. And one side of it had like a little butcher shop or a fish shack where you could buy fresh fish and meat. And then the other side was a little restaurant, a mom and pop kind of restaurant. And they had a thing called the Swamp Basket. I loved it. And every time people would come see me, that's where I'd take them to eat for lunch. And we would get prawn. They had prawn in it. It had hush puppies. It had crawfish, turtle soup, frog's legs, and some kind of, I think it was like some kind of catfish or whatever. It was delicious.
Now I'm getting hungry.
It was great. It was excellent food, and their service was really good, and they were all really nice people, you know. So
see, that's why I think I would like Missouri, Southern Missouri, like Branson, like at the Ozarks, you know, just, you know,
beautiful up there too, but it's gonna snow.
That's fine. As long as there's for me, like I said, I want to have that like lake life by the water, relaxed, enjoying and having fun.
Lots of wildlife.
Yes.
They have lots of deer and rabbits and squirrels and stuff like that. Yeah, they're everywhere.
Oh my! Now gumbo and frog McGum. I'm getting hungry again. Jeez.
Ruben, I'm going to ask you a question.
Ruben, you guys need to come up where I live in the Adirondacks. I mean, hunting season,
where
and whatnot, in the Adirondacks in New York, Tri-Lakes area. not New York
Yeah.
City, because that everybody's
Oh
like,
yeah,
you live
Upper
in
New York is based. It's not
Yeah.
bad.
It's
And that's the
a
thing
lot
too, yeah.
better
Because again,
politically.
for me, it's like, you know, I'm resolved. Like I said, I've picked 4 states that I like to go to: Missouri, Ohio, not really, but you know, Arizona or Montana, just because I want to have that constitutional carry, right? And then I want to have cannabis that as I'm a medical patient and want to be treated to continue my healing. And those are the 4 that I've picked. But you know, New York also is there too. But again, it doesn't have the gun rights, so that's why I'm staying away from New York. But you know, but still, the idea of having a place where I can have all the things we're talking about now. Because again, if you basically said like Janet, you said that basically having the crawdad and all the frog legs on stuff, that is, you only get that in a small town. You only get that in a community that is close knit. And that's what I want, that type of close knit community. And I think Gary talked about it, and I think a bunch of people were talking about it in other streams I heard, that the older you get, or I should say, I'll take it back. When you're young, you want to go to the big city. You want to have all the excitement. But as you reach a certain age, you want to party. But then I still want to party. I still want to have fun, but I want to do it in a different way. I want to basically, I want to get up in the morning, because my perfect routine would to be to get up, do my yoga, do my exercises, do my meditation, make my own breakfast, or go to the diner where everyone knows your name, and then talk to people, read the paper, which, well, there's no more papers, but talk about the news. The diner.
Town near me, they still have newspapers in a little paper stand.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I want. A little town that does that. And then of course, local paper, that little, as again, it's that whole hall. Again, I maybe I'm romantic about that way, where I think about the like Christmas time right now. If we all would love to go to that town that had the gazebo or town square that's all lit up with lights, the trees there, they have the Christmas lights, they have the Christmas parade, they had the kids doing that, they had the little concert for the kids, and it's just that type of atmosphere.
Nostalgic.
Well, not nostalgia, because again, it still exists.
No,
right, I mean, now
it still has that nostalgic feel. Downtown. It's real small. People still wave and talk to each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, that type of thing. Yeah, you have lots of little towns like that, all in the South.
Yeah, and that's why I would like I want to pick like Missouri, Southern Missouri area, or so. I
remember driving from New Orleans up through Arkansas and stopping, at different places to get food or a snack or get gas, right? And I'm stopping in all these little towns, and I remember going through talking to bunches of people, because you're walking around because your back hurts or whatever, and a lot of them said that they never wore masks. That the mask mandates never mattered, because their town had maybe 380 people in it. It's small, and they just had their little cafe where everybody hangs out, and their gas station, and maybe their little grocery store and a few things in a church. There you go. And then you got houses. And so you had a lot of that. So anyone who wants that type of lifestyle, I mean, there's lots of it.
Yeah, that's why basically I'm like asking around. I've been asking everybody, where to go, and I would basically go there, and that's what I want. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go now, because this year's ending. I totally forgot that Christmas is on Monday.
I know.
I didn't know.
I was not.
I didn't know at all. I found out I'm going because they were talking about it today on FNT that Christmas is coming up. I go, yeah, it's probably next week. It is next week, but it's not like Monday. It's Monday. Christmas Eve is Sunday. I had no idea. So I only brought this up.
Unfortunately, I got to interrupt here.
Yeah,
I got to get going because I got a thing that I got a call that I need to get up early. So
okay, well, thank you for joining us tonight, and you have a Merry Christmas.
Yep, thank you all for having me on, and y'all in the chat are freaking awesome, and I will talk to you guys on my Sunday recap on my channel. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Good night, my friend.
Bye.
Good night. Good night.
Wow.
So
Dead air. Just kidding.
It's all right. He's a good guy.
I like him.
I do too. But yeah, you're getting a lot of comments I've seen in the chat about your creature, your worm creature, or whatever it's called.
It's just a penis, a large number of penises.
Yeah, penis monster.
Yeah, the penis monster. Did you ever see the movie Your Highness Janet?
Mm-mm.
Okay, we'll have to watch Your Highness at some point. That way,
Is it a scary movie?
it's a very bad fantasy film.
Bad fantasy.
Oh,
Bad fantasy with Natalie Portman.
I've not seen it at all ever.
Natalie Portman and James Franco.
Mm-mm. I like James
And
Franco.
Danny McBride.
He was in my very favorite movie, The Great Raid.
Yeah, and you keep
My favorite
sprinkling
movie
the
of
Great
all time.
Raid. You keep putting stuff on the Great Raid video that we did. And
How's it doing?
That's the most watched video I've got.
Great. I love it. I couldn't
viral.
help it, Bruce. Every time I have a space and we talk about patriotic stuff or we talk about our veterans stuff, because you know how I am about the veterans. And that's why I think I love this movie so much, is because it's the only story that's real. It's based on a true story of us saving our soldiers that were captive. And it's the only time we ever did it, even though they don't think the saving our soldiers in a camp and getting them out and saving their lives helps the war effort at all. And they talk about that in the movie at the end, and the interviews with the real soldiers and stuff at the end of the movie and stuff like that. I just love that. I just absolutely love that movie, and it's a good movie. It's very well made.
It's not bad. It's not my favorite war film by any means, but
it's not a war film. See, that's the thing. It's a rescue. It's based on behind the scenes what happens during war.
It's a good film. I'll say that.
You're gonna get kidnapped, or you're gonna end up being if you're shot down, or you get separated, or whatever, or you get wounded, you could end up becoming a prisoner of war, and that's basically what it's about. And it's my favorite movie. And then right underneath that is Tombstone. You know, they're real close together, but that's my favorite movie of all time. I absolutely love that movie.
Okay.
Can't help it. And I can't help it. Every time I get like this, I go and I push the link out and talk about it.
Tombstone or no?
No,
what?
she pushes the link out.
Which movie?
The Great Raid. We did a video. We did a video on it years ago.
Review on it.
We did a review on it almost 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and it's got 42,000 views on it. I just put the information stats in private chat.
Oh, well, thank you.
Janet has contributed so much to that.
Jesus, I swear from this angle, it looks like three penises. It's like penis.
It does. It looks like a bunch of, now that you guys put that in my head, because when I first saw it, it just looked like some earthworms coming up.
No, look at the one right there. Look at the one right there. Just a big one-eyed monster.
And it's got a piercing in the front of it. If something like that came toward me, I'd chop its head off.
We're gonna watch the Your
Gentlemen,
Highness
don't
movie.
do that.
We're gonna have to watch what?
We have to watch Your Highness because there's a
we'll
really that movie has, like, this monster here is causing me to have flashbacks to that movie, and it's when they fight Mon TT. Mon TT is the guy that they fight, and they have to fight something like this. Yeah, Feminist Wet Dream, Soy Base Jeremy.
Yeah, one of my friends, I'm trying to find it. She sent me a movie that she says, or it's 3 movies or something. Hold on, let me find. I'm trying to find her. Here it is.
As long as it's not Bad Girl.
She sent me this. It's called 365 Days. It's on Netflix. Have you heard of it?
Nope.
Okay. She said, have you ever watched this? And I said, no. And she says, it's hot. And she's got a bunch of flames on it. There's 3 of them.
It's basically
and she said, watch them in
again?
order. So I am thinking about watching those, and then Cece and I doing like a movie review, or a review on those 3 episodes of these shows. But she says they're really, really like sexy. So I think it'll be fun.
I heard bad things. Well, never mind.
You've heard bad things about it?
Well, the premise is stupid, but it's basically a chick. It's like a what do you call it? 50 Shades of Grey fantasy bullshit.
Okay.
Oh, so it's a sex fantasy movie.
Yeah, sex stuff.
But it's the premise is very ridiculous. Oh, whatever. It's a Harlequin romance novel / porn.
I don't know. I've never
fantasy
seen it.
bullshit.
So I'm gonna watch one, and
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I only heard about it.
And she might be, her tongue might be wagging, and my tongue might be going like that. So who knows? Because I haven't seen it. So it'd be fun to watch it and have 2 girls talking about the dirty movie.
Read the premise first.
Oh well, but she sent me that. I think that Cece and I would do really good.
I can tell you the premise. It's weird.
No, I never heard of it until she sent me that.
I'd rather watch anime porn than something like a Twilight or.
Why do guys like anime so much? Is it because the girls are so? There's no way they could even stand up because they make their.
Are we really going to have this conversation, Janet?
Well, no.
Okay, here we go. All right, guys, ding ding. Anime films are not made by Hollywood. Okay,
I know.
So anime typically is
no,
written by somebody.
I wasn't saying anime films. You said anime porn.
Anime porn or anime, whatever it is, it's written by somebody who has a love of the subject matter they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you're talking about Attack on Titan, or if you're talking about Dragon Pink, which is one of the worst anime porns I've ever seen, both of those products still have a level of respect for the viewer that the viewer feels they're watching something great. Yeah. Whereas Americanized film, either Debbie Does Dallas, Flesh Gordon, I said Flesh Gordon, not Flash Gordon, or Titanic.
Behind the Green Door.
These products do not respect the American viewer. These don't respect the American viewer. They don't respect the people that buy the products. They push out product and they scream, "Okay, pigs, pay me, you fucking pigs, pay me for the stuff that you want. You want this." And it doesn't matter if it's James Cameron saying it or if it's fucking the hedgehog himself, Ron Jeremy.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. But the thing is that the anime, if it could be action anime, if it's like Goblin Slayer, or if it's porn anime, those 3 things still respect the viewer. They still say to the viewer, "Thank you for buying me. I hope this satisfies you. And if you buy enough of this, we will make more like this." And they always say that. They always value the people that purchase it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing I will give the anime I've been witness to. They always value the purchaser. They always value the fan. They always value that person that goes to the Comic Cons or whatever the Japanese people go to en masse over there to go enjoy whatever film festival it might be. They always seem to reward those people with, like, "Thank you. You didn't have to buy this. You didn't have to give us money, but you elected to. And thank you so much. We want to make more. Join us on this journey. We're going to go do it now." And they fucking love what they do. Whereas American creators typically will have the same level of love, but the American financiers are mainly about pushing the product out with zero soul. Because, hey, can we get that guy, J.J. Abrams? Yeah, he did a lot of money with that Star Wars thing. Let's have him do another Star Wars thing. And they don't give a fuck about the name attached to it. Get that guy that can push money. That's why you got the fucking holdover presidency being reelected by the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party's like, "Man, look at all this money that Joe and Kamala are putting in. We've got literally the best presidency ever. Look at all this money coming in, guys. This is great." And the rest of the fucking nation is like, the product of quality for the American public is down. we need a new president. And the DNC and the entire apparatus is like, no, we have to keep this going because we have the money coming. There's a big difference, and that's the difference we're having right now.
I love that he went from anime to hentai to Biden and Kamala Harris.
I did.
It's that's it again, because it all is part of the shit show.
You're welcome, sir.
Oh my god, yeah, but I don't understand a lot of things. Again, I've never. It's weird. I've never played a video game in my life. Never had a console game in my life. I don't understand those things. I don't understand what the big appeal is. But I'm just saying, I'm selling it for me. But it's interesting. But again, what is it? I did play video game one time or a couple times, like because they wanted me to play part of a just bunch of guys were playing out of Cincinnati, were doing it, and I've never read never manga, whatever it is, anime, and I don't understand. Again, it's guy stuff. I don't get it. Like, and again, Janet, like I was telling you, guy stuff and men's stuff. There's a big difference. Yeah, men don't do that stuff. Guys do.
But the main thing is that you have a lot of things that the audience for anime, especially Western anime, Americanized anime, is very small. And so they are doing their best to solidify that base by giving them high quality products, which is why you have things like Demon Slayer, Goblin Slayer. You have other classic items like Ninja Scroll and Akira out there. And those are fan fucking favorites. You have these great products that never cease to pull people. Janet's going to get dipped in it really hard in the next 2 years, because I'm going to be doing an anime with her, probably an anime show, probably every 60 days. Every 2 months, I'm going to be introducing her to a new cartoon movie.
Oh,
yeah, I'm interested in doing all this stuff, but why not? Why not us do any of this stuff if we're interested in it and we like it?
Mm-hmm.
He thinks I might like it. I mean, I didn't even know if I'd like it.
Go ahead, go for it.
Right?
I didn't even know if she would like Star Trek Continues. I didn't know if I would like Star Trek Continues.
I loved it.
Star Trek Continues is beautiful.
Star Trek Continues is almost it's like a mirror image of the original.
It's a third. It's a season. It's a season 4 that we should have gotten, basically.
Yeah, it's that fucking good.
And oh my god, and just the way. Who was it, man? All the women they used. Oh my! The girl, the counselor girl, perfect. Just such a
costumes,
such a beautiful lady.
I would love, just like I was telling Bruce, if I could have anything to do with getting that going and working on it, I would be wanting to do a lot behind the scenes, basically on helping them promote the making of the show, to have it and use that as fundraising.
Yes.
Have auctions and fundraisers to get people to want to donate money. They get to be an extra on the show, or get to be on the set and see how everything works, from the actual writing of the script all the way up until having the director say action, that type of stuff.
Right.
I actually think that if you're there on set for more than 2 hours or 3 hours, Vic Minoja would be like, hold this. Whenever it's time, whenever I say action, you smack these things together. And then, like, before you know it, you're on there for like 13, 14 hours. And you haven't really had a break yet.
Have you met?
Yeah, I've done that stuff.
Have you met Vic?
Me?
I haven't.
No, I haven't. I would love to.
Oh, I met him.
But standing there holding a boom,
love him,
or being the person to bring out water, or cough drops because their throats are sore from working for so long. The person behind the scenes that opens and closes the sliding door, for when they go in and out of the fake, sliding doors of the suites and the rooms, and just all that stuff. I mean, you got to have people to do all those things, people to touch up the costumes and do the makeup and the hair, everything, every aspect that you can even imagine. That's all got to be volunteer, because you can't make any money. If they found out you got paid 1 cent for anything you did that had Star Trek involved in it, they could sue you. for it, and they would. Sure. Instead of going in and saying, you guys freaking are awesome, we're going to hire all of you to do a special show on Star Trek's 30th anniversary or something, just coming in and doing something like that. That is a reward. And you know what? If they came in and said, we're going to do this, but we have to do it on a limited budget, they'd still do it. That's what shows you how much fans love the real Star Trek. And if they could follow the canon, just like what we were talking about, it'll make money. It would be.
Well, they can't do it anymore because of Paramount and what they've done. They shut everything down, so that's dead. So
it's just that anything with Star Trek on it, if it's got to be fan. They can't make one dime off of it. They can't make one dime, or they'll get sued.
There's a bright point in all this. Hey, Grumpy Old Ninja, how you doing, sir? There's a real bright point into this, and that is that we are allowed to be creators. Okay, so any one of us could write a script, or if we get the funds, or if we get the funding, we can direct something, we can do that. But you even have these guys that are quote unquote big time guys, and they're on Netflix right now. They're doing a show called Rebel Moon, which I've heard good and bad about. I'll eventually not watch it because it's directed by James Gunn. But you have him, who he got pissed off that Disney wouldn't give him a Star Wars project, so he did a Star Wars off of Wish.
Zack
Snyder, same guy. I'm not going to watch his show. I'm not going to watch his show because I don't like Zack Snyder. I fucking don't like it. I before I knew how much of a dick he was on the Geeks and Gamers stream with Uchi and the other guys, before I knew he was such a dick, I had no opinion of him. But when he gets on there and he espouses his opinion, or the shill moment where he's like, "Hey guys, we don't like the Geeks and Gamer logo there because it's a hate speech or a hate group or whatever."
Yeah, but he's a cuck. His wife is the one that made him say that.
Yeah, but he still did it. His wife wasn't standing in front of us, holding his balls in her hand, squeezing them during the show,
for the guy.
Which meant he was doing it on his own.
And so I'll never give him $1. Right. I'll never give him any fucking time as to where I'm going to give him the currency of time of any of his products. I'm not even, as much as I want to watch the fucking 4-hour Batman versus Superman bullshit, he's behind it. So I have to fucking go pirate it. Yarg. And as much as I want to do that, that's 4 hours I got to give up just to fucking rub salt in his eye. Nah, fuck that guy. And everything about him. Fuck him. I'd rather hit him with a fucking Freightliner or a city bus. A city bus is like the lowest tier of vehicle for me, because I hate the city buses in San Antonio. They're shit and they're driven like shit, and people don't know how to fucking drive them. Anyway, I'm getting too ranty here. I'm just saying that I hate Zack Snyder. I can't stand Zack Snyder.
The only way to hurt them, any of them, with all of this is for us to not buy tickets. Look what happened when people got together and said, "Fuck Bud Light."
Yeah, that was great.
It worked. Okay.
And I wish people would say months,
but if enough people get together and say, we're not going to buy their product, don't buy any NFL. Just think about if 6 months could go by and not one person spent, or very few people spent any money on the NFL tickets, shoes, hats, posters, pins, any of their stuff, how much do you think that would hurt them?
Well, it hurt Budweiser so much. Anheuser-Busch got hurt so badly by the twink that they pretty much had to go to Dana White with a pile of money, and Dana White had to get rid of his manhood, say, "You guys really ought to be drinking these Anheuser-Busch products. These aren't bad." And I didn't have any respect for him before, just for the fact that, like, you're a promoter. I know what you do. Yeah. I know how you make money. You take something you don't really like, you say, "I'll take the money and I'll parrot the positive of it." And this is exactly what Budweiser did. They grabbed a promoter and they had him promote, which I'm like, okay, I'm done with UFC. Not that I ever really watch it, because I only watch like a match at a time. I don't go to fucking Buffalo Wild Wings, sit there, drink shitty fucking beer, and eat shitty fucking food. I could do better. and watch 3 hours of people beating each other up when I've got the internet and bum fights is a thing. If you do a search on bum fights, you will find bum fights. That is so much better than this shit that they have. The fucking product.
But what was funny is when the whole thing where they were saying everyone was saying they're going to boycott NFL. They're going to boycott NFL. It didn't even take 3 games. Three games, and I was hearing all the guys saying, "Hey, I'm going to bet money on this guy and this guy," and they were talking about the different guys. I go, "What are you guys talking about?" This was in the chats, right?
Yeah.
And they're saying, "Well, I'm going to do this thing with this football league, betting on different teams or whatever." And I go, "I thought you weren't going to watch the games." And they go, I won't watch the opening where they're taking a knee and where they're doing this. And I'm like, you guys suck. You guys are cucks. That's what I told them. Because it's bullshit.
We have the ability to be creators.
Mm-hmm.
We might not have the money like what Zack Snyder has the money to tap into funding to make his Rebel Moon project, which is Star Wars, but ordered from Wish. Mm-hmm. There's better products out there to spend your time on. And you can write your own product. You can make your own, and I recommend you do that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
We just saw 2 movies. We watched. What was the movie we watched last time? The one with Jeff Daniels. That one.
Moonlight and Escanaba in the Moonlight.
Okay, we just watched that, and that was independent. That was an independent movie that Jeff
made
Daniels
on $1 million.
Yeah, it was made on a low budget, and it was really, really good. And then, like a lot of the movies that I picked, that I know you didn't really like some of them that I picked, but they were good, well-made movies. Had good stories, good acting. And Lady Ballers is another one.
Lady Ballers is great.
Okay, and then the one about the mental health, the kid that gets the doll, the love doll. So it was called Real Doll or whatever. But the thing is that there's tons of talent out there. The guys that made the Gamers, Darkness Rising, okay, I loved it, and I'd never seen it, but I loved it because you could just see the love they had for their characters, all the work they went through to make the clothes and the costumes and the sets and everything for it. I just love that. To me, that's entertainment. Anything that takes me away from, I laughed and I enjoyed it. The thing is that we can do that and we can make a difference if we decide to not spend our money with the assholes that are trying to tell us we're too stupid. We don't know what we're talking about. And we need to watch their shit. We just say, fuck you. We're not going to do your shit anymore. We got our own lives to live, and we're going to like what we like. And we don't like your crap. But the only way to do it is by following through. Like enough people got cucked and sick of being cucked over Bud Light, and it worked. We made them change things. They even sold off a couple brands, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
See, so it made a difference. So we can do it. It's just that we got to stay mad longer than 2 weeks.
Going back to what you had mentioned about Dana White, and also Kid Rock did the same thing. He basically,
oh my God,
he sold himself out to Bud Light too. But again, that's the whole thing. There was, I think it was earlier this week, Patrick Bet-David was talking about on his podcast about the situation. And then they had the conversation, what's your price? Does everyone have a price? I say, I don't.
I know I don't, but.
But again, but they say, but the majority of people do. And then that's what I'm saying like that again. It depends
if somebody threatened my kid or something like that, I don't know what I would do. You know what I'm saying? But that's different. I'm talking about money. I mean, no one could pay me enough money to want to live in California or New York. There's nothing in those states that I want. And so there's not enough money to give me to want to even live there. So I just won't. I'd rather live in a trailer in Arkansas or in Louisiana and have enough money to eat and take care of myself than ever take $1 million and move to California or New York. This is not worth it.
I like the movie Lady Ballers a lot. The only part about the movie I don't like is it has to have an agenda, but the agenda is let's be funny. And if we got to make fun of the absurdities that we're seeing now, we're going to go whole hog on these absurdities we're seeing now. And
I
that's the
thought
only
they
part
did good.
they did a really good job of pointing it out, but that's the only part of the movie that probably won't age well, because I don't see this lasting. I don't see the current crop of idiocy being allowed to be so revealed or so reviled, and it's a sacred cow. You can't talk about the fact that you're.
The good thing about that is, Bruce, the good thing about that movie is, I know it has an agenda, but if it works to wake more and more people up in the next 2 or 3 years, it doesn't matter if it's a hit in 30 years. Because if we can change people's minds in the next couple of years to where that kind of stupidity that was actually happening in that movie doesn't happen out here, then it works. That's what matters, with that type of movie. So,
and I'm not saying anything negative about Lady Ballers, but I'm just saying, if you're going to watch it, just be aware. Like, you're watching it, you already probably are all right with the agenda they've got. You're probably pretty okay with the fact we're going to make fun of Dylan Mulvaney. I think it's
done really well. I think the movie has done really, really well.
It made a lot of money for The Wire. And I know
I've heard a lot of people that watched it that said they thought it was really funny, and they liked the fact that it made fun of some of the stupidity. I mean, the guy with the beard, when he's laying on the bed doing the selfies and stuff, it's like the Dylan Mulvaney guy, And then the Bud Light, they make fun of it tasting like shit, It just here and there, it's just so many different things that come out at you that you that you see and you realize, wow, I love it. I mean, I can just see it. This is they're throwing everybody under the bus, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
I think it'll be a good film in the future, but it's going to be one of those movies that's like almost a time capsule of itself to give you like a good snapshot of the world. I'm going to compare it. I'll compare it to, and what is that movie? The Nation. It's basically about the KKK, and Theodore Roosevelt showed it in the White House.
I don't remember.
Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation.
Woodrow Wilson, not Theodore Roosevelt.
Thank you. But yeah, it's going to be like remembered like Birth of a Nation, in my opinion, which not a horrible thing. Birth of a Nation is a good snapshot of where the world was, where the country was, where people's attitudes were. And it lets you get an idea of like where we were as a society, which probably for some things not the healthiest, but that's all right. I just don't want people to ever think that Tim Pool was the normal one on YouTube, because
the movie I want to review, would be fun to do, is Song of the South.
It's a great movie. Mm-hmm. Why would people not want to see a review on Song of the South? That's the part about it, like, that I don't understand, like that.
And can I sing along?
Yes.
I want to do Going South.
We watched that movie in school. We watched Song of the South in school when I was a young kid.
Yeah. They should actually release it if they how to get more cred.
There's a movie in theaters getting ready to be released, or has been released, and the black woke crowd is like, what the fuck is this? And it's about the magical Negro. And it's funny because it's like they discuss the magical Negro whenever Obama was on his rise to power.
Yeah, they call him the one, which he's
they called him the magical Negro because he came along and he gave the acceptance to the white man for, we appreciate the fact that you are giving us authority now, and we're going to allow you to have brotherhood with us.
I must have a perception filter that called out his bullshit. I was back then. I was going, "What the fuck are y'all doing? Follow this fucking idiot."
If you lived in Illinois back in the 90s, that guy was a fucking tool, and all the people he had around him were fucking tools.
Yep, I knew that.
American Society of Magical Negroes, and it makes no sense as to why. Like, we're not the ones making this movie. David Alan Grier's in the film, and he plays basically an Uncle Remus, which he's trying to mentor a young man.
Yep.
He's like, you cannot get involved sexually. If you get involved with a woman, then you're going to lose your ability to bestow the touch of the gift of the magical Negro. And it looks like a funny film. but I don't think it's going to be that funny because the trailer has jokes in it that don't hit. And if that's the best the trailer has to offer, that movie is going to be really bad.
And they purposely made the trailer. They do this on purpose because again, it's funny. The way that the executives think is it'll get clicks and it'll get exposure, so people will talk more about it. So then they'll see it. They basically think the opposite, because again, the best analogy of the backfire is Trump. They basically will give Trump all this bad negative press and try to get him arrested or whatever. They get him off the ballot or whatever the bullshit they're trying to do. And they think those clicks are going to help their cause, and it actually backfires on them. And you see how the ratio of the video for the trailer for the movie was ratioed badly. But in their mind, they just see clicks. They look at they look at data. That's all they do. They look at data. Look at the numbers. Because again, they didn't lose money. It's like a scam where like the Marvel's $200 million to make the film, or
it's like
more
a
than
pyramid scheme.
It's a pyramid scheme. Yeah, it's like
Bernie Madoff is somewhere in here.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. The same thing with the whole like with Hunter Biden's art. He's an artist. Bullshit. Again, it's money laundering, and it's classic. Everything's money laundering.
And now we found out recently, didn't we, that somebody that was over there in Israel, they got saved and brought back over here, was one of the prisoners.
Yeah,
was one of the people whose grandson was taken, and they were one of the ones that bought some art from him. Yeah. And there happened to be their grandson that was taken. Right. I don't know. It's a lot of,
because again, that's the whole idea. You have to remember. And then here's what's really funny in regards to that. A segue which is really backfired on her too, or will backfire on her. The whole idea that I firmly believe that this whole thing is a setup. This whole war thing is a setup to distraction. Israel needed it, and they did it. Yeah, but the thing is that, then the righteous Nikki Haley basically said, "Oh yeah, and you know who likes this? Who caused all this problems? Putin." She blamed Russia for it. And going, what the hell are you all talking about? It's like, it's like, no, it's not. It's the Russian people are not doing anything wrong, and I trust Putin more than I trust Biden or Haley. Right
and now, honestly, I'm still saying the same thing. I really do believe that the people that we have right now that's in charge know that if Trump's not, if Trump's alive, that he's going to win. Yeah. So that's what scares me. That part.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying.
I think they're going to do anything.
1968 all over again.
We'll have no election, and the only way to do that is what? Let's say us be attacked by Russia. They attack our power grid.
Well, attacked by Russia, they'll do it themselves. They'll create a cyber attack.
That's exactly. Or it's going to be China, or it's going to be Russia. But more than likely, they're going to say Russia did it, and then they're going to say we have to have martial law. We're not going to happen. And
the thing is that there's rumors. Again, not right. Again, I look at data. I'm a data guy. I look at data. I look at analytics. I look at everything. I saw this happening for my entire lifetime. Everything that has happened since I could write and read when I was 2 years old has come true. You know, and I'm seeing it happening. But the thing that I didn't take into account was I really thought there was two sides to the story. I thought that when there was honest political debate, honest discussion regarding, and there's no honest discussion. It's one-sided. It's only one side. It's a side of power and control, and that's where where you know I'm not going to go any further to talk about it. But
look at that. What happened just the other day was it came out that damn it, the recent thing about Trump was going to get his name was going to be taken off the ballot.
Colorado,
okay, in Colorado. But before that,
And
right before that, the Epstein list was getting, they were talking about the Epstein list. The next thing you know, then this huge headline comes out about Trump's name being taken off the ballot to turn everybody from looking here to over here real quick.
Exactly.
So it's like one thing after that, like that. Don't look over there. Look over here. You know, it's constant. It's getting more and more and more every week. It's something big is happening to cover up something else. How long before they realize they're
it's not going to stop, and that's part of what I'm doing. Also, like I said, one of the big things that I'm doing in 2024, personally, is like I ripped myself away from Apple because I was an Apple guy since 2008. Actually earlier than that, in the 90s, because again I wasn't there at the advent of the computers. I know Windows 1, Windows 2, 3.1, System 7, all that stuff at Apple. And so I've been doing this for 30 years. But when the iPhone came out, I thought, yeah, it's good technology, this and that, the conversions. I actually had I had the Nokia little phone, the one that flipped open, the Ericsson. I had all the tech growing up. I was one of the first people that had a phone that had a map on it. And then people were going, "Oh, it's so cool, all that stuff." Yeah. And I saw this. I didn't want to get it right away because it didn't have all the bells and whistles that the other phone had, like a BlackBerry. But the whole idea is the fact that, I ripped myself from Apple because, again, Apple and Google, all they do is track. You're a data point. And that goes back to the whole idea that a distraction. People have their phones and they go for clicks. And they know that, so then they basically want the controversy. They want you to basically not like the Society of Magical Negroes. They want you to complain about Obama and Trump and Biden and all that stuff, because that's the distraction. They want you to be doing the distraction and not working on yourself or working on how to better yourself in society. So it's all the distraction. So that's why I'm saying it's like, just rip yourself away from it. That's like I said, like the phone I have now. I've really committed to getting off of all these products, and I'm better for it. Like, I have my phone. I'm using this as a phone now. It's not even Android. It's Brax OS. It's security. So no more Google for me. No more Apple. They don't track me. And even the computer, I set it up specifically that it has, like, again, that's the thing. This is so weird. Because if you use any Google product, and YouTube is a Google product, and you don't, and you just don't turn anything off, they know exactly where you are at all times, what you see, who you talk to all the time. And it's already been proven that every Google phone and Apple phone, every time you click anything, they collect everything you do. Every text, every photograph, every voice message, every note is tracked. And so that's what I'm saying. I said, nah, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. So I basically, I hardened my systems are hardened, and they're not going to get it. So it's just, but again, it all goes down to the whole idea where, what's the new distraction going to be? What's the new thing they put out there? Either it be a Taylor Swift song, or Epstein list, or a Trump this, or the sex scandal in the Senate, or some actors doing this, or there's a fight breaks out on the highway, or there's a crash somewhere, or a disaster happens, or war, the biggest distraction of all. So, welcome to the shit show.
Well, I'm about ready to go to bed, you guys. My allergies are kicking in. I am tired. Really dying. I need to take some medicine, and my foot's hurting too, because I had physical therapy this morning, and he was, rubbing on it and putting some kind of electrical jolts on it and some other stuff, testing it. So it's like, it's really sore and tender, but thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody that stop by and sit with us for a little while, even if it was just for 5 minutes. I appreciate that. But what are your plans for Christmas, Ruben?
Nothing.
You hanging with your friend that you're staying with right now, right?
No, I'm just gonna just be by myself.
Are you gonna just be there by yourself? Okay, because I was telling Bruce that we might do something. I don't know what we're gonna do, depending on what's going on. You know, with
Yeah, I'm hoping somebody calls and invites me, but I'm hoping it happens. But I'm not going to put. I don't put hope in anything anymore. I have to take my action for myself. But essentially,
right now, it's just going to be
so then
us.
next Friday. When is next Friday? Is next Friday?
I don't know.
When is next Friday?
New Year's? I don't know. Let me look. That's look at
next Friday is the 29th. Okay.
Yeah, the 29th.
Still,
okay.
I want to know I'm just trying to figure out where it was. But essentially, what I'm doing is I made some videos a couple days ago, but I've been very, very weak because the good news is, like I said, I want to basically do one thing. This is the outro, basically. So, Janet, thank you very much. This has been a great year. I want to basically say thank you to everybody here in the chat, everybody that's been out there. So I based Jeremy, Low Perspective Linux Laptop, Grumpy Old Ninja, everybody that's out here, all Sick Nation Kings, everybody. Thank you so much. For this entire year, we've been doing these videos. It's been really nice, and it's good to have Bruce and as well, seeing your hands and your penis monster. But again, it's a shit show. Whatever, at first, if you just like to come on the stream right now and look at it going, "What's a pile of shit?" Just kidding. No, it's not. It's brown. That's why I'm saying. But anyway.
I just want to tell everybody, I'm so thankful because so much has changed in this last year and a half for me, with all of this stuff with the channel and things. I'm doing stuff I never would have. If somebody told me 3 years ago I'd be doing this stuff, I would have said, "What?" I wouldn't have believed them. But I'm so thankful that Bruce, just nudged me along and got me more and more excited about getting to do this stuff. And I'm actually learning how to do things. I'm playing games with them on Saturday. 2 different games that I'm involved in. I'm loving doing that. Now we're not going to play tomorrow because it's the holiday and stuff, but just so many things I'm getting to learn. And I've met so many cool people that I've hung out with and had fun. I got to watch movies with them. We just talk and it's just nice. It's just really been nice. And I just want all of you guys to know how much I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
Okay, now it's your turn, Bruce. Are you there? I thought I saw his hands moving around.
Yeah, I had to turn my mic back on. We love having you around in the gaming crew circles. And I mean, Ruben will just be able to attest for, just as a man, we like having you around, period.
Good.
It's just you're nice. You're a good presence. You're nice. You're easy on the eyes and the ears. Wife loves to hear you banter back and forth with me and the others, and she gets a kick out of you. So I mean, your antics are great. Ruben, I wish nothing but the happiest, merriest possible Christmas that you could possibly have.
Thank you.
I don't know what that might be.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope
she's out there somewhere. She's out there somewhere.
I hope it happens.
If not,
I think as time goes on, it'll work out. Saturday, might be on a chill stream painting miniatures. I got a whole desk of shit to finish, and then Sunday we're going to be watching. Oh wait, no, we're not, because Monday night we're not doing a show.
Christmas. Monday's Christmas, so we're not going to be doing a show. But we might be hanging out anyways in Discord watching something. We'll let you guys
know. If people are wanting to message my Discord, and I'll turn on more Star Trek Continues, because I think that needs to be shared out. That needs to.
Yeah, it's very good. If you like Star Trek, the old Star Trek, the original stuff, you'll love this fan-made series.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's really good.
And then one last thing I wanted to basically say. So what I'm doing, I'm putting out videos now. I put out a video a couple days ago. I'm releasing now, basically laying out the plan for 2024. Being, saying thank you for the weight loss I've been on, the journey, and the support I've been getting. But the plan for 2024, I'm going to be doing a lot of things, a lot of consulting work, starting out with businesses, things I've talked with with Janet about, and other people. And that's a big thing. So I have a lot of plans for that. I will be getting off of Facebook completely, Meta completely, because I don't get any data away, and being more exclusive to X and Rumble. So follow me there. I'm going to be posting a lot on X. So basically, consider me a combination of James O'Keefe, Alex Jones, Julian Assange, and Edward Snowden, all combined into one. This is gonna. I'm breaking it all down. I have nothing to lose anymore. Basically, it's like they took everything from me, and now I'm going on a revenge tour. Take them down. That's what I'm doing.
Well, I think you're going to do good at whatever it ends up being. You're going to be the best there is doing it. I know that for sure. But thank you, everyone in the chat, for hanging out with us. And I hope that we were a little bit entertaining for you. And
I had a blast.
Yeah, I did. I always do, because I just love hanging out with everybody. It's fun for me. But I just want to say thank you again, and hope to see you again in next Friday. So Christmas will be over. It'll be getting close to New Year's, and hopefully we'll just have a great time.
I really hope my target audience, my target demo starts around age 30. For those of you under age 30, I'm going to treat you like you're adults. Okay, now that I've said that, for those of you that want to hang out next Sunday in Discord and watch movies, if you know everything working right, we're watching Blade Runner. Think it's going to work out just fine. There's another film that Janet showed me last year called The Prestige, which was really good. There's a companion film that came out about the same time called The Illusionist, and I'm going to try to find out. Yeah, that's a 2006 film with Ed Norton, Paul Giamatti, and Jessica Biel.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. Well, we'll have to watch it very shortly because it looks really good.
Okay. Well, you guys, we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for coming.